Welcome to Mack Training Academy. I'm Mack, and today we're going to go through the various applications of stances and what they're useful for and what some of their disadvantages are. Before we do that, help me to grow my YouTube channel by hitting the subscribe button. If you have any questions or comments, definitely leave those and hit that like button. So, to get into it, there's various stances, various styles. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of each style. I just want to cover a general overview to give an idea. So, first, I'm going to go into more of an older school Thai style, where you put 90% of your weight on the rear foot and about 10% on the front. You'll see that with this stance, I'm a little more statuesque. I'm not as easily able to move, but I'm solid. I'm able to shift my weight to throw teeps. I'm able to shift my weight in marching style, and I can throw good kicks with that march stepping forward. It's not so useful for throwing the punches, but I'm good at coming forward, which is a very Thai-esque style. The next one we're going to look at is a karate style. So now with karate or more taekwondo kicking styles, you'll see more of a bladed stance where your feet are roughly in line. This gives you very good in and out movement, but now you start losing mobility in the other directions. This is really good for aggressive coming in and countering so that I can hit good straight strikes and good straight kicks down the line. Again, not as beneficial for movement, at least laterally. It's a very 50-50% weight on each foot, and typically you'll see an angle off on both of my feet. The next style you're going to see is more of a boxing style, where my lead foot is slightly turned, my foot's off roughly at about a 45-degree angle, and my body's turned to minimize the amount of target that's here, which is beneficial to their rule set. Some disadvantages: obviously this is very good for shifting your weight for punches. It's not as good for when kicks are involved because of that angle of your foot for opening up this direction. And then typically your weight is shifted about 70% on the front and about 30% on the rear, so you can be fairly heavy on that lead leg to throw those big heavy hands. The next style that we'll look at is what I would call more of an MMA style, where it's a little inclusive to movement, to shots, to throwing strikes, and that's that 50-50, that square stance where you're 1 foot out, 1 foot back. From here, the foot is typically pointed forward. You have about 50% weight on each foot. This gives you good movement in most directions. It gives you good directional movement for takedowns and for throwing strikes. Not necessarily for big power strikes, but allows you to change and move in between. Now, there's variations. I tend to prefer a square chest forward so I can go different angles. Some people prefer to modify this, again, to close off and protect some of their body and change how their chest is facing, more maybe like a 45-degree angle. So these would be your main. Let's go back through them one more time with a different angle. So you have more of a Thai style where your foot is a little more heavy on the rear, a little lighter on the lead. You're able to lift, throw teeps. You have more of a karate style where you're bladed. You're able to move forwards and backwards. You start losing mobility sideways. You have boxer where you're a little heavier on that front foot. You're able to move, but now moving in different directions is difficult and it's harder to defend kicks. You have more of an MMA style where you're square. You can be facing forward, you can be turned. There's variations in almost all the footwork of where your foot is planted, but these open up some topics of benefits and disadvantages. If you'd like to see more, I can do a breakdown of each stance and what the pros and cons are for each and why they're there. Some is for the rule set, some is for the benefit of specific strikes. So with that, again, help me grow my YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button. We appreciate it. Thanks.